Ha
Ha, ha,
ha.
football.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
Ooh,
Woo! All right,
hey.
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 Oh, hey,
Hey.
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 Eh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, baby. We here.
We're still.
In the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And breaking news. That's right. It's actually happened while GPS is happening. Myles Garrett just requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. I just saw it while we were running the intro. Oh, boy.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. So,
Where?
as a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, and that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It was always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns.
Wow, an official trade request. You don't see that often.
No, that's Myles Garrett.
Oh, no. He's going to join the Chiefs this week, isn't he? They're going to work it out. He's going to be on the Chiefs this
They'll release
week.
him. He'll join, and that'll be it.
And
Damn.
the Browns will take less than the Mavs took for Luka Doncic. That's what's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently a bunch of trades going on. So that's pretty breaking news. Start the GPS show. So look at that. I'm glad that we actually got that nowadays instead of, it just happening right after the stream ends.
Wow.
So, I mean, this has been rumored for a little bit, right? And there was already speculation because on what Myles Garrett had already said. I think it was like a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago now, where he was like, it's kind of wide open. We'll see. There was a lot of smoke about maybe he might request a trade. And now it is official. Myles Garrett is looking to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Now, of course, this is all going to be up to the Browns organization, right, to see if they're going to move on from him. But this is an elite pass rusher that is going to be on the market potentially. And oh boy, I know there's a lot of teams that would be vying for him.
Yeah. I mean, we know the Bills want him. Buffalo wants him. They've got to do some cap maneuvering. I do know that. But I think they can move on from Von Miller to free up some cap space.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills are a defense who wants to get pressure via their 4-man unit, right? They don't want to send extra pass rushers like we've seen some other defenses this last season. The Broncos, heavy blitz, the Vikings. Bills, they couldn't get to Mahomes in that game. So maybe there's a little hope there for Bills fans. But I do like to believe that there was a part of this trade announcement that was deleted by Myles Garrett's PR guy.
Mm.
And after he said, to compete and win a Super Bowl, he followed that with, plus, I'm sick and tired of playing for a terrible quarterback who is also a garbage human being, and I can no longer stand to be a Cleveland Brown. They're like, oh, let's just remove that part.
Myles. I think it's a word limit thing. I don't know if Myles Garrett pays for that.
We can get the message across. And he's like, no, can I call Deshaun Watson a piece of garbage? Because I don't want to play for that guy.
He's like, you just do it afterwards. You just do it after
the race. He's not even an elite piece of garbage. He's just a bad dude. Who's probably not going to be healthy.
True. It's true. It was more shock than anything, Sean. Yeah. I would say a lot of shock. Damn. I did not think that this was going to be the breaking news that we were going to get on a Monday morning.
Oh.
But
there's a couple questions.
Yeah.
What's Myles Garrett command in a trade? Like, what's Cleveland going to receive for him?
I don't know.
Are they going to trade him within the AFC? They look outside. It feels like, honestly, the two teams who could pull off a Myles Garrett trade are already playing in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs guys want to go and play for Kansas City, right? We know that. Eagles, Howie Roseman, he just makes shit happen.
I mean, I feel like there was all those rumors during this year of like Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, because those are the names that have been kind of like thrown around a little bit about guys who could be traded. And like, yeah, Detroit's on the list, right? Like Green Bay, I know is going to be looking because they need a pass rusher. Like there are plenty of people who could use the services of Myles Garrett, but it's going to be a matter of one, what the compensation is going to look like. And I have to imagine it's going to be, because let's see what his current contract is.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's what I'm curious about.
Myles Garrett for Anthony Davis and barely any draft picks.
He's going to go to the Lakers. He's going to go. All right. So he signed a 5-year, $125 million deal. So he's got 2 years left of this deal, right?
Okay.
This season and then next season. And then in the start of the 2027 season, he is a free agent. So right now his cap hit next year is $19.7 million. And in 2026, it's $20 million, 20.3.
Okay.
So, I mean, at this point, yeah, you're going to be paying some pretty good money for Myles Garrett, but you're going to pay him when he's 30 and 31. I mean, I think there's going to be plenty.
Ooh, Washington. The Commanders.
There you go.
Could be a contender. They've got the third most cap space right now. They could use some edge rushing help. Ooh, Washington. I like that. Chicago. Are they going to be an all-in unit? Detroit's in a good spot to make. Dude, Aiden Hutchinson and Myles Garrett on the same defensive line. The Niners got a little bit of money to play with, but they got to pay Brock Purdy still. Green Bay, Denver. All the contenders. Let's see here. See, Buffalo, they're right now, Buffalo's at negative 10 million in cap space. So they got to do some work. The Ravens could use him as well. I'm just thinking of teams that have a legit chance.
Yeah.
So I think Washington is number one in terms of a playoff team that has the most money.
Do you think Myles Garrett, well, I know obviously, again, the Browns are going to have to work this out. Does he want to go there? I mean, does Myles Garrett transform them into a Super Bowl team right away? I think they got to get a few more things on that defense and, especially, but that's going to help.
They've got some pieces. I think Washington would qualify as a team that gives you a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Okay. Nice major check, right?
Vikings. That's interesting.
Boo.
Dude, I want to see him go to Buffalo or Detroit, but like Detroit, in terms of who Detroit has and Aiden Hutchinson, that's fun.
It'd be insane.
That makes your entire back end of your defense better. Like,
yes, 1 million.
You think Kirby Joseph is in a good position to pick off footballs now? Put in a impossible to stop pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. That would be crazy.
Yeah, this makes this offseason a little bit more interesting too, because I feel like
Cincinnati.
Bengals ain't doing anything. They got to pay their own guys.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, I don't
never know.
You got to pay. It would be nice for them to get a defense, but yeah,
he'd be a good fit on that Giants defensive line, but they're not a contender.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers.
He's not getting traded within the division.
The Browns might be dumb enough to do that. Cleveland might be dumb enough.
What do you think the compensation looks like?
Fuck.
He's got no.
I don't know. Like NFL trades. It's like we haven't had the first thing happen for this 2025 offseason that kind of sets the parameters for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like a few years ago, right? Like wide receivers were commanding multiple first round picks.
Sure.
And then that market like disappeared. I would imagine you would get at least one first round draft pick for Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And then there's got to probably be some sort of agreement on contract parameters for Garrett to extend him, right?
Sudoku.
And if Myles is like requesting this and he wants to go win a Super Bowl, I'm gonna imagine he'll be a little bit flexible on his contract. I'm not saying he'll play like for free or anything, but interesting. I do like this though.
Yeah, like I said, it makes the offseason more interesting. you have an elite pass rusher, right? Who's like turning 30. So it's kind of, you start to see maybe like the twilight, right? But I think you watch Myles Garrett play, I mean, dude is still pretty freaking fantastic. So yeah, there's a bunch of places that could utilize him, but if you're trying to lock it down, Washington would be interesting. Detroit, I think, opens the most possibilities that I very much don't like. I would love if Green Bay took a swing at him.
Sure. If I'm Brad Holmes, first of all, if I'm Brad Holmes, I call local law enforcement in Minnesota and Green Bay and Chicago, and I have all communication devices just deactivated in the Vikings, Packers, and Bears headquarters. Do not allow them to make phone calls out or receive phone calls. And I make this trade. I get this trade done today. Today with the Browns.
You can't get it done now.
You never know.
No, you can't trade people right now. You can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Sure, you can get an agreement ready to go.
Your season hasn't started yet. No, I can't do it.
You get an agreement ready to go. And it just becomes official when the league starts.
Maybe the Mavs are going to go get him. They could use some people right now.
The Mavs are like, can we also trade Myles Garrett? How do we become part of trading away Myles Garrett?
Case Cookus for Nathan Peterman is the NFL equivalent.
So you know what I hate about this is like somebody tweeted this NFL equivalent to the Luka trade, and then 500 people, all with big accounts, asking the same dumb question just so they could get that engagement.
I get that engagement.
How about you just retweet the original fuck who thought of it instead of being like, oh, what? Tell me. Hey, guys, tell me what the equivalent is when 30 people already asked that question. Now, it's a good question to ask here because we can talk about it. I think it's a good super chat to have here. I'm talking about the unoriginal thought thinkers out there. Thought thinkers.
That trade, it was so funny because like I was walking back from the Rumble, like just ran out and grabbed food, and we were walking back from the Rumble, and there was a bunch of people on the street because he had like 60,000-70,000 people just leave the stadium, within the last 2 hours. And so like the bars, the Saturday night, and I literally was walking down the street and I saw people looking at their phone, freaking the hell out in downtown Indianapolis that the Luka trade just happened. And they're like, wait, no, that's fake. And they were yelling at each other. And as I kept walking down the block, it just got more and more crazy of people like finding out the news. So I was like, all right, something must have happened. Yes, Case Cookus for Nathan Peterman. That is the.
I think Josh Allen for Stafford right now is kind of good. That's kind of a good one. If Josh Allen put on like 30 pounds this offseason, right? That was like one of the Mavs reasoning, dude. The Mavs general manager or president of I was gonna say basketball operations, vice president, whatever he is. Is it Nico Harrison? Is that his name?
I know you're talking about, yeah.
I had to learn who he was because like that guy does not know how to do his job. Let's see here. Was it Nico?
It's no good, dramatic. It's no good. Yeah, I mean, real quick, because I know we're talking about all now, like where Myles Garrett can go. The Cleveland Browns, this is rough. Like, I'm just talking about from like their fan base perspective. Like, this is brutal, man.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about, well, let me be very, very clear. Folks were talking about, and the Cleveland Browns front office was thinking that with the Deshaun Watson trade, if he was anything right, like the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, that they were going to be contending for a Super Bowl. They had the defense to do it. They had the offensive line to do it. Sure. Even with Joe Flacco in there, they're making the playoffs last year. And for now, to not only have the Deshaun Watson trade blow up so spectacularly in that not only did it not work, because like you said, the on the field performance has been garbage, but the tainting that has happened of just like everything that has been touched by Deshaun Watson has been awful, everything off the field. And then now to lose your all-star player, like could Hall of Famer, like Myles Garrett. And now like, this is bad, man. Like this is a reset that is going to be felt for a while. And so if you're the Cleveland Browns, you're talking about trade value, you are going to have to, if this goes through, you are going to have to try and get every single piece of draft capital that you could possibly get to try and rebuild. And it sucks because like there's a bunch of good players on the Cleveland Browns right now, but good God, man. I mean, between that, the Nick Chubb injuries, like it has been a rough go of things. And again, Cleveland front office, you brought it on yourself. Cleveland fan base did not deserve this. And this is a rough day.
Let's say, the guys who brought in the massage table for the pregame celebrations, they deserve it. Those guys deserve it.
Sure.
Those fans. Whatever small group of that is, they definitely deserve this.
I mean, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan,
they seem pretty chill.
Yeah, that's not deserved by them.
Dude, yeah, the Browns, they're probably look at, and they don't have any fucking money.
There you
go, they're so stupid, Cleveland. They're at the bottom of the NFL right now.
Yeah.
They don't have a quarterback. Maybe they draft one. They don't have any money. Their star player wants to leave. They're going to have to win for a very long time before people forget about this era. And to make it worse, Baker Mayfield plays pretty good football every year. So, no.
I got you, Beware. I got you.
Yeah, but when your star player is publicly coming out, getting ahead of the curve here, saying, I don't want to be here anymore.
It's February 3rd.
Yeah, it's not even he didn't even wait till after the Super Bowl.
Nope. He's like,
I'm out. I want to know where I'm going. The one thing that's nice here is maybe we can stop watching Steelers and Browns fans try and debate who's better, TJ Watt or Myles Garrett.
Hey, that's true.
It's one of my least favorite things to watch because they're both so good, but they have to pretend like the other player is significantly worse to support their argument. And maybe now that, Myles Garrett goes, they'll be like, all right, he was pretty good. Now we just have TJ Watt.
He goes to the Texans.
That would be funny, dude. I don't know.
Their pass rush is already insane.
Yeah. The Texans aren't going to give Cleveland any draft picks, though, right?
No, they're just like, hey, remember that Sean Watson? We're going to give you significantly less.
Equally funny would be Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay would be funny. Myles Garrett goes and helps Baker Mayfield. Dolphins could use him.
See,
Everybody in Florida.
I don't know if you could use the Khalil Mack, because that was 2018. You're talking about it's a while ago, but I mean, they're gonna add the only difference is right because I feel like, and I don't think this is that hot of a take because it's not necessarily even a performance thing. I think that if Max Crosby was traded, you might get more trade value for him because of his age. Right, Myles Garrett, depending on what the contract situation is going to look like, you're going to have him for 2 years. You're getting him on a 2-year rental unless you're going to wind up extending him. He'll be 32 by the time he's a free agent, and we'll see kind of where his play is at. But I feel like you're getting him for 2 years. For Crosby, I feel like you're getting a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be 2 firsts. They're going to try. I think they're definitely going to try. So
I think you're probably going to rework his deal. I think you'll have him for more than 2 years. And I think Myles Garrett, if you're going to bet on somebody playing for a while, he is just an Adonis. Like, he is a physically perfect human. I would bet on him playing longer than Max Crosby at this point, and he's only 2 years older than him.
Sure.
So I think you can bank on having Myles Garrett a little bit longer than that. Just depends on what your goal is as an organization.
What he wants to do. If he wants to play for longer than that. So there you go. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
people are
pretty crazy news.
People debating right now Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. You guys shut up. They're both really good.
Who say Myles doesn't
so
choose?
Insanely good. Like trying to define which one's actually better. It is like maybe this guy is a tiny bit better this week than that guy. Now, TJ Watt was injured towards the end of the year, and he wasn't that good. Oh boy, I love it.
That's the thing. The Browns don't have to do anything. Like they can be like total sticks in the mud here and be like, no, like we're not going to. So Myles, it depends on how flexible they want to be, because I would assume everything, just the context of what we just talked about, the Cleveland Browns, they're going to try and get the most draft capital possible. So I don't know how much they're going to consider Myles Garrett feelings here and say like, yeah, no, we want you to send you maybe because he's done a lot for the organization. You would hope, but I'm just based off everything that we've talked about in, years. I don't have a lot of faith in the Cleveland Browns front office. I don't.
No.
No, when do you do that?
Who knows what they're going to get for him?
Yeah, I think you're looking at least a first rounder, potentially another one. It's just going to depend on that contract and how long you're going to be able to hold him on for, or hold on to his contract for. If you're going to extend it, if you're going to wind up restructuring, I don't know. Benzino, sure. Yeah, I'll trade Jair Alexander for Myles Garrett, the guy who is most likely not going to play for the Packers anymore. Yes, I will happily trade him for an elite edge rusher. Absolutely. Cleveland, pick up the phone. Let's just do a 1-to-1 trade right now. I think that'd be fantastic.
Bam. All right, well, that's fun.
I agree, but I don't think he's not going to be worth. And it also depends on where they're drafting too, right? It depends on who they're trading it to. Because if you're, let's just say, going to the Lions, right? And let's just say it's the 2 first-round picks. Let's just say that. The Lions are picking near the end this year.
Yeah.
And with Myles Garrett, you're assuming they're going to be a Super Bowl team. So if you're the Cleveland Browns, are you trading him to the Detroit Lions for basically back-end first-round picks?
Yeah, I think the Lions would be happy to give up 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett because
the Browns are happy about it.
Their first-round picks are essentially what I think like most draft analysts look at as a second rounder. Yeah, it's, and that's, similar to like Washington. Like if they trade with the Commanders actually have a worse pick at 29 than the Lions right now. I think if it is one of those type of teams, if it's a true contender like Garrett wants to go to, then yeah, 2 first rounders is probably very feasible. We just don't know. Like I said, like the trade market fluctuates so drastically. Like trying to predict it is a little wild. That's a really good point. I think, who's up top that he could go. Like, and you're like, maybe Chicago, who has the 10th overall pick right now, right?
Feel better, Eric. Feel better.
Any contenders? The Bengals have pick 17.
He's not trading him to the Bengals.
I'm just saying where they're at. The Dolphins at 13. The Colts at 14. Like nobody thinks those guys are actual contenders, but they're competitive football teams. Tampa Bay could give you 19. The Broncos could give you 20. Ooh, Nick Bonito and Myles Garrett. Casa Bonito Garrett.
What if? What if the deal is we'll trade you Myles Garrett for just 1 first-round pick, just 1. But you have to take Deshaun Watson and his contract as well. That is part of the deal. You have to take Deshaun Watson with Myles Garrett. How badly do you want Myles Garrett to pay all this money and guaranteed? How badly do you want Myles Garrett on your squad? That's if I'm the Cleveland Browns. That's the call I'm making.
Yeah.
So
it's a package deal. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Can't do it.
Yeah, the Chiefs will be interested too because throughout the season, Kansas City, Chiefs fans like, we could use a little more firepower from the edge position.
Sure.
Luckily for the Chiefs, George Karlaftis and Mike Dana have been very good at generating pressure in the postseason outside of Chris Jones. But the Chiefs, I think, will be in play for Myles Garrett. But that's fun. That's good news.
Andrew, again, I don't think Jair, unless they're both willing to come to the table, which I don't know if both sides are. I don't know if Jair Alexander is going to be back, but there's plenty of free agents that the Packers have this year that they're not going to be bringing back everyone. So you're talking about the start of the new year, right? So you're not talking about it until March. So about a month and a half from now. So yeah, there's nothing set in stone yet, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Myles Garrett on the move is going to be interesting. So
nice one to watch.
6th pick in 2026 first rounder. Raiders fans, I love you. I don't know if Myles Garrett says I want to go to a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, he's not going to the Raiders.
It ain't the Raiders right now. And I got to be honest too, if I'm the Raiders, I'm not making this deal. Like you'll have an amazing pass rushing duo of Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. Brother, you don't got a quarterback.
Nothing else. You'll have nothing else.
Yeah, that's about it. You have a really cool pass rush. But that's about it. Yeah, Rasheed Rice. That's it. Hey, how good's the barbecue though? How good? That is be very interesting. It'll be very interesting. Rams, I don't feel Rams. Their pass rush would be
They're good.
Getting 25 sacks, but they're basically paying a whole bunch of rookies, right, and young guys. So I don't think that they need to.
The Rams developed one of the better pass rushing units via the draft this season. I don't think they necessarily need Myles Garrett.
No, I don't think so.
The Cardinals could use him.
Yeah.
The Niners putting him on that line with Bosa. The Seahawks. All the other NFC West teams could use him more than the Rams.
Sure.
I don't know if Garrett's going to go to any of those teams. And if you are, like, you want to go to the Rams or maybe the 49ers, if you're looking at a contender.
Sure.
We'll see,
the 49ers would be disgusting.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss actually got one of the biggest pops at the Rumble. Yeah, Alexa Bliss returning. A pretty big pop. Hendry got two, but yeah, it was good. Lions trade for Garrett in the trade. That Carmi goes, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's fair. Carmi should be the final say on all of NFL trades. Like, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I agree.
No sense. I would love Myles Garrett to the Packers. I mean, I would. And I think the Packers have the cap space that they could do that. So it's been talking about like what free agents the Packers want to bring in and as opposed to what they're doing in the draft. If you like truly believe like this is the time, you get Myles Garrett, you're going to have to go and get a corner though. Like the corner room I'm a little concerned about. And then you need another wide receiver. I think you could address those things in the draft. It's just a matter of how quickly you're going to see that rate of return, right? Now, I will say what Perna was saying, if you get an elite pass rusher, and this is just for any pass rushing unit, it makes your secondary look significantly better, right? So getting Myles Garrett would help the corner room just because you're getting more pressure on the quarterback, and considering they weren't getting a lot of it this past season. Yeah, I would love this, but I think even within our own division, there is going to be teams that are going to be contending for Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I'm sure the Lions and the Bears would offer him more money. Just feels like in terms of like what a franchise would do. And him going to the Packers kind of boring. Feels kind of boring to me.
I don't care about your opinion on that.
Feels like Myles Garrett to the Packers, boring.
Regarding that, I'm pretending I'm not hearing it. For Detroit, do they need him?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, anybody could use him. I think anybody could use
Darius Smith. You're using Zadarius Smith?
Zadarius Smith is an awful comp there. I'm not going to lie. Zadarius Smith gives you nothing. But Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a wrecker there. If you wind up getting Myles Garrett, I'm not even counting Zadarius Smith on the team right now. I think
they need him.
Getting with Hutch would be crazy.
They lost their defensive coordinator. Hutchinson broke his leg. Everybody on that defense was hurt. You can't have enough insurance policies if you're the Lions. All right.
Angled, exactly. You go from number one to even more number one.
Yeah. Eagles, like, I would not be surprised if the Eagles push hard for a guy like Garrett.
There's no shot that they get them. I wouldn't think.
Why?
Because, dude, like, it's going to cost you a bunch. And especially if they just win it. If they win a Super Bowl in a week, I don't think that they're going to be going for Myles Garrett. I don't think so. That's just my opinion. I do not think so. Could be wrong.
I think if anybody would make a play for him, his name is Howie Roseman.
I'm sure they'll be in the conversation. I'm sure they'll be there.
Who's their free agents? Who are they going to lose? Josh Sweat, unrestricted free agent. There's one of your edge rushers right there. Garrett, big upgrade over Josh Sweat. They got to sign Zach Bond. They got to sign Mekhi Becton, who's been great at the guard position for him. Tom just guaranteed it's going to be the Eagles.
There you go. Booking that hotel room yet, Perna? Use some points?
No, I'm not going to book it yet. I'll sleep in my car. I'm going to wait until,
Mavericks could use them right now. Mavs could definitely use them. That's pretty wild. Also happened midnight. That was pretty crazy. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, again, Philadelphia, I'm sure you would. But no more. You don't need him. You don't. You're just like, but I want him. I want to win more Super Bowls. Win the Super Bowl on Sunday. All right. Then we'll have this conversation. Chiefs and Eagles. We shouldn't be talking about this.
No.
Okay.
And if the hotels book up, I'm going to invite myself to stay with Cole.
There you go. That's fair. Save some money. The Pro Bowl happened yesterday. Did you watch any of it?
No.
I know you're streaming Coach.
I'm streaming your stupid show.
Thanks. Appreciate it. So I feel that season 3 is the opinion is dropped down, huh?
It's good. It's good.
I heard you really enjoyed the live stream.
No, not a fan of the live stream.
It's so funny because that episode, I'm not like super like, oh man, this was amazing, but everybody loved it. It's just because it was done in one take. Like it was just. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think like your performance is very good.
Need more for half.
I liked, Jade coming in. That was good.
Finale was crazy, right?
Good.
Finale was good.
That took some balls.
Yep.
I don't think Coach is stupid. I said I loved Coach season 1.
You just said the stupid show. You said
yeah. Well, that's just because we got to banter.
You fail as a
more
man,
comedy
Tom.
in it. I prefer more comedy in it. I prefer more insulation sex. Little too serious. Little too serious. Now, with the seriousness comes some deep, real writing, which I respect. Got a lot of respect for. Touch on some real themes about how we, get through the world. But I want a guy who lives in the crawl space that fucks the insulation. That's just what I want to see more of.
That's fair. I will say, season 1's probably the most lighthearted. It probably is. Yeah. It doesn't get funnier. Yes.
It's a little too real.
Got
the little too real.
There you
also,
go.
I need a spy. I need to see a spy in there. I need a double agent or a spy.
Just big into espionage.
Yeah.
That's fair. So, did you see anything? I honestly, I saw Peyton Manning getting thrown into a foam pit. That is
no, I did. I literally don't think I've watched a clip.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I've seen.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Hey, sad bottom shelf. Let's go. First of all,
there you go.
Who knew the helmet behind you could fly a plane? Wow, these initiatives are getting crazy.
Or
and
that
then
it was fertile.
Pregnant as well? Damn, that helmet's been busy. Huge congratulations, though, to you and your family.
Nice. Yes.
Moving to Brandon's house.
Yeah. Just learn to do things very tired. Just learn to be able to function very tired. That's the hardest part of that first year. Everything you do, you're like, I have 70% less energy than normal, and everything is harder.
But good.
Yeah, it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Gotta have a little optimism there at the end. You're just like, every day a piece of me dies.
No, it gets easier, then it gets harder again. Then it gets easier, then it gets harder again. Every time you think you got something figured out, it's gonna fuck you up, slap you in the face, say you don't know anything about being a parent.
Fair.
You're gonna second guess yourself. Just keep on loving that kid. That's all you can
imagine being a Philadelphia Eagles fan right now and having this idea of like, hey, how he could do something. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Can you imagine being that optimistic about your GM and your front office, and then you look at the Cleveland Browns and their fans just going, I have no faith whatsoever. Talk about the juxtaposition, dude. Like, holy crap.
The Browns and the Mavs right now, they're like, cool. Yeah. The guy running our team doesn't know what they're doing. Has no clue. Yeah. No clue. Can't read a room. Doesn't know a generational player when they got it.
Oh, yeah.
Alienated their generational player because they're so bad.
Yep.
That's
rough.
There's a few other things that happened. That's enough about Myles Garrett. Dear God.
Oh, you want to talk about the Saints?
We got to talk about the Saints. We got to talk about updates in the Justin Tucker case.
I saw he raised like $1,800, right?
Yeah, right around there. Maybe 17 or 1,800.
Let's go.
Yes.
I threw you to get to 1,000 and was like, all right, I'll be back. And then I collapsed when I got home because I was shot.
Nah, we good. All right. So Justin Tucker, we talked about it Friday. And I said that in my video, I said probably not going to get like conclusive evidence about, some of the stuff. And of course, the next day, a letter, a typed out letter from 2015 emerges of another alleged victim. 4 more women came out saying Justin Tucker acted inappropriately during the massages. And then now there's a photo of one of those women submitting a letter to the spa she worked for stating she does not want to work with Justin Tucker anymore because of all the stuff he's being accused of. So 4 more women, physical evidence of someone, at least it appears that way, requesting to not work with Justin anymore. So he's looking more guilty as we move on. And then the Saints. This is an old case with the Saints.
Old story, but a new wrinkle.
Yeah, I made videos about this years ago. But the New Orleans Saints executives, they helped with the PR work for the Catholic Church in New Orleans, the Archdiocese in New Orleans.
They got names taken off the list of members of the church who were involved in pretty horrific stuff. And it was a level of like working with local authorities, like working with like top prosecutors. And it's like, oh, this is not great. Solomon, I did very much enjoy the Rumble. 100%. Good. I added the link there so we can open this.
Yeah, so we knew that the Saints front office helped with the PR for the sex abuse scandal. Yes. Okay, we knew that. Now, the Saints at the time, they tried to obviously distance themselves from how much help they provided, right? They basically tried to pitch it as they reached out to us. We told them, how we handle things, like how we handle controversial things or whatever. But they were much more involved than that. And I think most people who were paying attention to that story assumed that at the time. And like, this is pretty disgusting.
Sure.
And I feel like I made references to it for like 2 years before it's like, okay, I feel like I've said my piece about how fucked up the Saints front office is with this stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right. This is the one that's bizarre. Saints executives were so involved in the church's damage control that a team spokesman briefed his boss in 2018 on a call with the city's prosecutor hours before the church released a list of clergymen accused of abuse. The call, the spokesman said, allowed us to take certain people off the list. That is one of the most messed up things I have ever seen an NFL team be connected to.
Let's just get a little context here too, because this shit's disgusting. So the Archdiocese had a really good relationship with the New Orleans Saints, right? Because it might be like, why is a football team even involved with this, right? They're literally named the Saints, right? So there is like that good connection with them and the city and everything like that. So to be able to use your power and your influence as a football team and be like, yeah, we're going to pull people off this list so it doesn't reach the public eye. Yeah, that's pretty disgraceful.
I think like if you're the Saints, you'd be like, nah, I'm not going to help you with this. This is one thing we're not going to help you with.
Yeah, no.
Sorry. But this is an article by ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Hold on. Can you just scroll down? Because like this is from their own emails, because I want to make sure that this is talked about. So team officials were among the first people outside the church to view that list.
Yeah. Why?
An NFL team is getting a list of suspected pedophiles within the church going, hey, can you look over this? You want to take a look at this?
Yeah. It is, it's like, why are the Saints, why is that ownership not been questioned or pushed out? You know
what? I'm shocked that they can't find a head coach. You know what? Tell them more. You sure you don't want to go coach here? You sure? You don't want to go do this?
It's going to be a lot harder after this.
Good God, man. It's,
it's like, I don't get it. I don't understand why you would help.
Yep. So on real quick. So the emails obtained, hold on 1 second. So the Saints senior vice president of communication, Greg Bensel, provided fly on the wall updates about local media interviews, suggesting the church and team leaders were all on the same team. He's doing well, Bensel wrote, as the Archbishop told reporters the church was committed to addressing the crisis. That is our message. Okay. So it says that because these are emails. This is why this got another wrinkle, because a whole bunch of emails that the AP got basically undercut. That's what they're saying, what the Saints gave fans about public relations, because this was 5 years ago, saying that they gave minimal assistance to the church. So
Yeah, no, they gave him a lot of assistance.
It's just gross.
And I think these emails were made public because something happened in one of the court cases or something. Yeah.
Yep. And it's just, again, like, this is one of the overlaps that happens of like, why is this a thing?
Yeah.
Like, why is an NFL team anywhere near this?
Don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Just,
you know how I know the Saints PR team sucks? Because their own PR team didn't tell them to stay the fuck away from this.
Yeah. I'll be like, no, stay the farthest away possible.
It's one person in the room. Guys, no?
Maybe we shouldn't help cover this up. Like, maybe, you know what? If we want things to actually get better and improve, maybe these people should face the consequences.
Maybe these people should get the worst we can throw at them legally.
Maybe there should be consequences, for doing terrible things to children. Just an idea.
Yeah.
Just an idea. And the Saints are like, no.
Vile things you can imagine. How about we not help those sick fucks? How about not, guys? That would be
Super Bowl in New Orleans this week. Let's go, boys.
Yeah. It's like the Broncos or Packers, it's like if they reached out to us to help them with some like PR mess, right? Like, we need you to be a voice. Like, I would help. Look, if the Broncos reached out to me, I would peddle so much propaganda for them if they requested politely. Not this. Not this. That's where I draw the line.
Like, you're like, tax evasion any day. I got you. I got you, Broncos.
We found some financial loopholes. We've been spying on other teams. You'll want me to spin it in a way that's favorable to the Broncos?
You're
sure.
like, who's it against? Who's against the Chiefs? I'll go there with a video camera. I got you. Yeah.
Falsely imprisoned Patrick Mahomes? Yes. Let me be your vocal leader here.
Yeah.
Dear God.
And it turns out it wasn't any. Yeah. Minimal, because like Perna said, like 5 years ago, this already was a scandal. Like, why are the Saints getting involved with this?
Yeah.
And then
why minimal assistance? How about no assistance?
Zero assistance. Zero. And it's like, you know what? No. I feel like there should be some punishment for this. Call me a crazy person, but I feel like if you got a list within a religious organization that suspect a pedophile, maybe we should investigate that more and not just have more damage control. Just an idea. It's crazy.
It's not like a drug scandal or something. You know what I mean?
No.
Anyway.
After that,
there's a lot of news that happened this morning. Dear God.
Definitely did.
I think they're making up for last week. Just make it up for last week.
Ben Johnson, you put 65 mil?
Yeah, that's official. 65 million we knew it was going to be roughly 13 mil a year, but seeing like a new head coach and their contract 65 million, dude, I'm thinking about getting into coaching, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting into coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, and NFL to consider electronic ball spotting.
Hold on. I want to talk about that in depth. Just give me a memento here. Just
sure.
Put this here. It's true. He wants to go play for the European Football League. We want to go kilometers. But when it comes to Ben Johnson, like, this is where I will give the front office of the Chicago Bears credit here, because they went out and they spent premium money on the guy who was supposed to be the top candidate in. So got to give him some credit here. And I never give him credit. Got to give him some credit here. We'll see if this winds up working out. We'll see. But they did the right thing. The Bears front office did the thing that everyone was asked for. So easy. I mean, it's gonna be tough to get into the Dan Snyder Hall of Shame. It is. But hey, Saints, they're speed running. They're trying. God bless them. God bless them. Yes. Talking about the Buffalo Bills and now putting chips in the ball and all that great stuff. It's so funny because there's a few things.
Eagles and Bills, 1 and 2, baby, betting odds to get Myles Garrett. Sorry, you said Bills. This was just good timing.
It's all good. So it's funny because now this could be the second potential rule change that has come from the Bills losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs, because we saw the overtime rules get adjusted. And I have two comments here. One, I think this makes the game better because this should have already been a thing. Yeah. Right. But I do find it very funny that it has come off 2 Bills losses to the Chiefs in the playoffs that go, all right, we're going to change these rules. This should not have taken this to have some kind of tech. And this is what we've been talking about for years. You have all this technology, you have billions of dollars to make the game more exact, right? And the overtime rule, I like the overtime, even though we're not really seeing anything in the playoffs that warrant it. I do like having that option in the playoffs and that both sides get a chance at the ball, or both teams, I should say, get a chance at the ball, regardless if they score a touchdown. But here, like, where are your thoughts on making this more exact? Because this seems pretty common sense that just got talked about even more after the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought they should have done it this year. But I also thought, like, spotting the ball is rarely that big of an issue. Like, every now and then you see a bad spot and you're like, all right, whatever. And it's usually like you see one bad spot in a game. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, okay. I get it. Like, it doesn't come up that often. And then we had that playoff game. So yeah, if it can just make it easier and more exact, sure. Why would you not take the opportunity to make an official's job a little bit easier and to just be more accurate with, what the play resulted in? The first rule change, the overtime one, obviously the 13 seconds game. To be fair there, the Chiefs, Andy Reid was pushing for that rule change to happen after the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in the playoffs as well. So like that's something that had, had come up before. This one, here's the thing about the spotting in that game too. Live streaming that football game, I kept correcting myself saying first down Bills, and it didn't even register. And then I'm sure you saw the guy who put out the video of all the bad spots that happened in that game. And not every bad spot was detrimental to the Bills, because I think on a few of those, they just picked up the first down anyway. Obviously, we remember the 4th down play. But there were multiple instances where it looked like Buffalo got a first down and the ball was moved back.
It was like, oh, it's 2nd and 1 now. Right?
Yeah, you're like, wait, what?
Like 10 was 9. Sure.
So that's why, like,
and we shouldn't even be having to talk about this. Like, this is such a baseline of like, hey, you want accuracy? Yeah. Because it also, right, because the way that they do it, you have the chain gang, right? So you have the markers that are on the sideline, and they talked about making those electronic, right? Did they screw with those in the preseason, right? And they were trying to do stuff like,
I think they tested it out or something
with the lasers and everything. So you have 2 line judges, right? So you have them, and you see this happen, and I feel like it happened a bunch this year, that they're just not on the same page, right? Like one's running like half a yard more up, and then someone's a little bit more down, and it's just like, okay, well, this is why you have 2. So yeah, I agree. Anything that is going to make this kind of stuff and these kind of discussions irrelevant, that we shouldn't be arguing about the spot of a ball the day after and now weeks after, I'm all about it. And again, it's amount of how much human error do you want in the game? And if the answer is 0, well, then you're going way towards the side of technology, which I don't think is a bad thing, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your broadcaster saying, I don't understand the spot, and explaining to general audiences, hey, this should be a first down, and it's not. You just can't have it.
If like just some fan at home is watching, calling the game on a live stream, being like, first down, oh, I guess it's not a first down. That's one thing. But then you go back and listen, it's Romo and Nance also thinking the guys got first downs. And they're like, oh, never mind, it's 2nd and short now.
Yep.
And look, if it were flip-flopped, if it were the Chiefs who kept getting, bad spots, I would, 1, think it's hilarious. But 2, like, it's not about like that the Bills lost that game. It's just about getting it right. And I think a lot of people are like, well, did the Chiefs have any bad spots in that game? I don't think they were stopped short that many times. And it takes a weird scenario where the Bills were right on the line to gain multiple times. That's why it became an issue. Also credit the Chiefs defense for stopping the Bills in those short situations. Sure. And the Bills coaching staff being too stupid to say, hey, why don't we run a QB sneak to the opposite side of the line? Because they are fucking us up every time we go to the left. So there's a lot of reasons, like if you're talking why the Bills lost, it's not about any why. It doesn't matter why or how they lost. It's just about getting the shit right. And that's what we want to see. And if this can make it right, that's what we need to see. Like, how accurate is this? Because then if this shit comes up weird, we're going to start blaming technology. Then the conspiracy will be that the Chiefs have different technology than other teams and they're getting favorable spots.
Or it's just like, can
I would love to go down that road.
Can it be manipulated? Like that's the problem too. I don't know if Derek will go on GPS.
I'm sure he would.
So that's the thing too. Where's the technology at? Right? Because how do you determine that someone's knee is down if you're just looking for the ball? You know what I mean? Like, how do you determine? Because like I can reach a ball with my knees down or my forearms down.
Technology in the kneecaps. Dan Campbell was alluding, we're going to have technology in the kneecaps. And the reason the Lions are going to bite them is to get those chips out of the kneecaps so that the ball can't be spotted fairly when playing against the Lions. Nailed it.
Andrew! Whoop! Wait for the kick. Yes, Garrett to the Lakers. Send him to the Lakers. He's going to play with LeBron. Yes. It's going to be great.
I'm pretty sure Garrett can dunk it.
Why not? Send him out there. If not, he could tackle. You know, you get a technical, but
yeah.
Hope you're doing well.
Garrett
can dunk. Appreciate the hell out of you.
Beast.
Yeah. So ultimately, I don't know what this technology is going to look like, if they're going to even be able to implement it, because that is putting sensors in the ball is not going to accommodate for the runner.
Yeah.
So
just give us our Sky Judge too. Jesus Christ.
But we can't do that because not every single stadium is built for it. Like that was the crap that came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
Or last year. So you know what? You know what you need to do, Brandon? Get these billionaires and millionaires to say, oh, let's spend the money to do so. Sorry.
Yeah. If they get an 18th game, we better get a Sky Judge.
Just to be fun. I just don't know if that's what they take.
I literally want the Sky Judge hovering over the stadium.
And by Sky Judge, you mean God, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he has got binoculars.
Yes.
It's just for show, like it's an actual guy, but I want the illusion that a guy is watching over every play from the air.
I like that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Why not? I mean, we'll see. You'll see, because their cap space is not great. It's not great.
Got to rebuild.
Not ideal.
Come to Denver, Myles. Let's be the dark horse candidate who lands Myles Garrett.
Hey, King Andrew giving Perna 20 members.
Yeah, Andrew.
Let's go.
Beard is so sexy, Andrew.
That beard is phenomenal. It's just truly phenomenal work. Chip Kelly, also new offensive coordinator for the Raiders. Because Chip Kelly just left college. He was there a year? Like I feel like he wasn't in his current position very long. Then he's like, deuces, going back to the NFL. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like he wasn't there very long.
Chip Kelly was the Ohio State offensive coordinator and QB coach last year. He was at UCLA from 2018 to 2023. He joined UCLA after, the 49ers situation didn't work out. Can he be a good offensive coordinator in the NFL?
But he was the only one. He was only there at Ohio State for 1 year. That's what I'm saying.
I know Ohio State, but he was at UCLA from 2018 to 2023.
But he just ditched Ohio State, so he was there for 1. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, just a year. That's what I just wanted to clarify, because I know he was there for longer after the whole stint with the NFL didn't work out. But got it.
I just don't know.
Interesting. I don't know though. I'll never forget the dream team. I'll never forget. Chip Kelly, and that's tough to shake.
I think it'll work out. I think and I hate to give this fuck credit, but I think Tom Brady being, with the Raiders, I think if a guy is going to be able to identify whether somebody can be a good offensive coordinator, it might be Tom Brady. So I'm gonna side with, Chip, Tom. Tom believes Kelly can bring some, innovative things to the NFL offense. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. But, and if the Raiders are drafting a guy, I don't know if it's Shedeur Sanders, you're getting a guy, you're getting an OC who spent the last, several years at the college level. I think that's ultimately a good thing for your quarterback coming into the league. Then again, it's Chip Kelly.
And then real quick, speaking of the Raiders, so Russell Wilson was asked, because Pete Carroll is over in Vegas, if he would have interest, and he's like, I want to stay in Pittsburgh. So
yeah. I'm not sold that the Steelers are going to bring Russell Wilson back, but him going to the Raiders, I would love to see it. And I think Russell Wilson would like to play with Pete Carroll again. But I don't think Pete Carroll and Tom Brady look at Russell Wilson and go, that is the solution for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two are very much well aware of Russ's limitations. And because there's the connection to Pete Carroll, I think that makes Russ's chances of landing as the Raiders quarterback less likely. They know his limitations and they know his athleticism is going to diminish basically every year here on out. That's probably why Russ, I would love to stay with the Steelers, guys.
But their relationship, I thought, near the end was not ideal.
Russ wanted Pete Canned.
Yeah, so I don't even know why this would be asked. I'm just like, hey, you want to go bad, Pete Carroll? I was like, bring him in. I dare you. Just sitting on the throne now with the Raiders. Yeah, just can't do it. Can't do it.
It's just because you know somebody doesn't mean you want them to be your quarterback.
Sure.
But here, Russ, here's the caveat though. Russ would be an upgrade over the current Raiders quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Pending maybe a commitment to Aiden O'Connell for a full year. You know what I mean? But
I agree.
Yeah, Russ and Max Crosby. I just want to watch the Russ and Max Crosby podcast, honestly, Kevin.
Who wouldn't? Yeah, I'd watch it. Perna, what do you got coming out today, broski?
Today I have got the history of the Super Bowl halftime show coming out.
Ooh. Did you rank them or just talk about the history of it, or
did I write them?
Rank
them. No, it's not a rank. It's just the whole thing.
Talk about Prince,
how it started, what it was like for a long time, when it got saved, what it is. It's been on the back burner for a while. And then tomorrow I'll have my Super Bowl prediction, whatever episode.
There you go.
Yeah, Maximum Unlimited.
Maximum Unlimited.
Oh,
yeah. Should have a Rumble video coming out today in the next few days because I was there in Indianapolis. I gotten 3 hours of sleep the past few nights, so exhausted. But yes, I will get that out. There'll be a whole vlog too, but I'll at least get out the last few minutes of the Rumble. So that was super fun to be there live for.
Rumble.
We'll rock, and then we'll see you on Wednesday and Friday. I'll be on the road on Wednesday through Friday, so there won't be any Q&A or anything, but we'll have GPS both days as I'm heading down to New Orleans for some charity dinners and Radio Row. So we're going to rock and roll. But folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Wednesday. Thank you. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and you have been
navigated.
You've reached your destination, which is